You know what I was thinking? Incentive. What gives games general incentive? Like, what's the point of finishing most of our games? Now, sometimes we'll get games to solely enjoy the single player. Sometimes we'll get them so that we can play with our friends online, or even local co-op, which is very rare, but still exists in some games. Now, when I was a little kid in the early and mid 90s, I really didn't have any sort of record of how I finished my games or what my highest score was. There were some cartridge games that actually had some sort of save system built into it. For the most part, when you had a cartridge game, you had to start from the beginning when you turned the console off. So most of the time, you'd put your game on pause, you'd have to go eat dinner or go to the store, and you'd have to come back and unpause it and finish because you don't want to lose your progress. The incentive to seeing, I guess, the end of the game back then was a really, really big driving factor to finish most of the games. You wanted to see that the ending screen. You couldn't just look it up on YouTube or Google or anything like that because we didn't have internet back then. So we had to see it ourselves so we could talk to our friends about it. That was the whole fun I had. I went to high school. I talked to my friends about it at a certain ending to like Zelda Ocarina of Time or Metroid or something like that, and it was just really fun. It was exciting to see what the game was going to give you when you beat the game, whether it was like a I don't know, a new game plus or a hidden map or level, weapon, anything like that. These days we have achievements, trophies. I know Super Mario 3D World and the Wii U has stamps, which totally should be Nintendo's achievement method. They should have like stamps hidden in all their games, and you need to find them in order to increase your stamp collection or score. But when I complete a game, it's got I guess an addicting factor to it. It's got like a record of my progress through achievement points, especially on the Xbox achievements. It's like one of my favorite ones. I don't care too much about trophies, but that's really only because I guess I'm not a fan of the way they do it. The PS4 is a million times better than PS3 as far as the trophies are, because you have like a trophy level and you have platinum trophies, which pretty much accumulate when you've gotten every other trophy in a game. I know gold trophies are hard to get. Silver are somewhat tough, and bronze are kind of like you're going to get those just from completing the game. They're pretty like simple tasks. Achievements can range from anywhere between something super complicated like getting 5,000 kills in multiplayer to I don't know, do a running dash combo to a grenade explosion. Now, it could be some crazy things. But really, what's the point? I know there's an Xbox Live Rewards program and stuff that rates you on a certain scale. I'm a master, whatever that means. I think there's other levels like novice, apprentice, whatever. And depending on your level, you can get new rewards or Microsoft points, or now it's real currency deposited into your account based on like random challenges that you accomplish. Which, by the way, the Xbox One does have challenges in the dashboard. Not sure what that does. Not sure if that's like an achievement that you kind of get under the hood. No idea. But really, this video, I'm trying to figure out what made me ever finish games back then. Um, every Christmas, I would always hang out with my cousin for a week. We'd always have a little game exchange. We would show each other what we got. He'd always get more than me. I'd go to his house, or my aunt's at the time, for a week, and we'd play the games and stuff. And it was fun to finish the games. The point was to beat them, to conquer them, to unlock every single little thing, and then move on to the next one. But really, what's the point? Like, what's the point of beating a game if all you're going to see is a game over? I mean, then you're bored. With me, it's like when I'm not around my games, I just think about them. Like, I don't think about them like a job. It's almost like homework in a way. Like, I want to finish my homework so I can move on to something else. But truthfully, that something else doesn't really exist. I don't know if you guys feel the same way. But, like, what's the point of me finishing Assassin's Creed? Then I'll have nothing to do until next year when the next iteration comes out. Or what's the point of beating Battlefield's or Call of Duty's campaign when I know I'm only going to be bored of it unless I decide to go on the multiplayer? If it wasn't for multiplayer, most games would not have good replay value. Especially games like Bioshock or Fear, just as examples off the top of my head. When you beat those games, even if it does have a multiplayer, it's usually tacked on and it's totally pointless. You beat it and you're just done with it. So, really, in a nutshell, just to summarize the whole thing, I think the biggest thing that gives me an incentive to finish my games or even play them is just the feeling that I've accomplished something. And achievements through achievements and trophies, and I want to say Nintendo's stamp system, but unfortunately it's not implemented yet. I don't know if it ever will be at the rate they're going. It gives you, I guess, a record of your accomplishments so you can view them. Now, it's really about that interface. It's important about how they communicate what you have unlocked, your progress, things of that nature, so you can keep up to how much more you got to do in your games until you get another achievement, or what your achievement level is, what your score is, things like that. I'm not really a score whore. Like, I don't really care to get a high score, but it's definitely important to me to feel like I'm getting stuff done. I guess it keeps me going in life too. Outside of work and hanging out with my girlfriend and stuff. It's always good to know that I'm getting something done. And playing video games to me is productive. I mean, I do a bunch of other things too, but at least it's fun to have a hobby that you feel like you're getting something done in. Back in the day, it was about beating them. Today, it's about getting a high score. But really, that's what gaming was about back in the coin-op days of arcade machines and things like that. If you remember Pac-Man, Galaga, Space Invaders, all those classic ones, that was about getting a high score. So I guess achievements is kind of a good nostalgic throwback to that. Gaming is always evolving, and my brain will always be thinking. So, tune in for the next You Know What I Was Thinking episode to find out what the hell I'm thinking about next.